Hello and welcome to I Can See the Future. Today we are following up on the last video with the second video of around treasure hunt. And so just to remind you what treasure hunt is, it is a live, actual, active treasure hunt that includes a growing jackpot. So users will log on to our site and join the treasure hunt, and as they join, the payment they make will actually go into a pot of money that they'll be searching for. And so it'll be an active scavenger hunt, and the first one that we're going to do will be in California. So today we kind of just want to do some live wireframing and thinking through of like what the site might look like, the initial MVP, and yeah, kind of lay it out. So over here, I'm just using InVision's freehand tool, and so we're just gonna kind of sketch out some concepts of what we think it'll be. But first, why don't we just brainstorm real quick in this Google Doc on what we need? So we can start with like a landing page, right?
Yeah, I think that the first thing that you should see is probably something that really draws you in visually, and it kind of is exciting. Like maybe it's some kind of like editorial picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like it should explain what the game is.
Explanation of game. Maybe like that draws you in visually with quick link to sign up. So like if you see it and you get it and you're like, yeah, I want to do that, you can sign up. And then this next section going down would be like an explanation of the game. And from there, we'd probably have another like sign up flow at bottom, right? Like some kind of simple landing page for it. That would work, I think, just for our initial like MVP. And then I would think the next thing we would need would just be like that, whatever the sign up flow would be. So just a sign up page, we can just say that. And what do you think we need on that? So obviously form with the following. So email, name.
We're going to have an age restriction for this game, or all ages?
It's a good point. There probably would need to be some form of an age restriction.
Yeah, right? Let's just say 18 and older, because we don't want to be liable for little kids. Running.
Is that something that we want to like grab their age, or we just want that to be indicated? Like something only for 18 and older.
Yeah, I think maybe just knowing that they're 18 and older. Like, I don't know if we need to know how old they are.
Yeah. So we can say form with details. So like at top, we can have like 18 and older, like probably like we need terms of service, etc.
Yeah.
Privacy policy, terms of service page links. They can all be on that sign up page.
Yeah.
Email, name. Basically, what we need to make sure is that we have like a unique way of capturing the person and knowing that when they sign up and pay, it's like they have to have that information. Like, that you basically can't just pay once, get the first clue, and then give it to all your friends. Like they all would have had to be on the list of like email and names. So as long as that's like uniquely identifying them, it may just be email and name. Do we want it to be like a login thing where you have like password and whatnot, where you have an account with us, or for this MVP we can probably just get away with just grabbing their information in like a form field?
I guess like how we have to think about how they would get these clues. Will they get them online? Will it be like this like unlocked, like this like, the site where you can only get the information once you have the password? And then it's like a password that you can only use like once. No, not once.
Well, so I don't think we need to like restrict anything like that, because basically if somebody finds the end treasure, after going through the whole process, if they weren't signed up with their email and their name, they can't get the reward.
Gotcha.
So even if they share it with all of their friends and they're all working together, then they would all be splitting the reward at the end because only one person signed up.
Yeah.
So that takes care of those problems. So then I think the only thing we kind of want to think through is like, do we want to create, like, I can imagine like in a bigger version of this, we definitely want an app, or, we want a website that you can log into. But for this first MVP, the thing that we're actually going to be building right now, do we want to make it so that like you create an account and then it just gives you that one hint? Because I'm thinking most of it's going to be, well, I don't know. Yeah, it could either be literally like, here's the first hint, go for it. And then you go off on your own and you try to solve it. And when you get the second hint, it's like a physical hint in the location. So you just keep going with the physical side of it and you're not really on the app anymore or on the website. I can imagine that for the first MVP, or we could kind of make it more interesting with like, we give you, it is a website that you get logged into. You get the first hint, you have like X number of hints and you can see them like 1 through 10, like there's 10 things you have to solve, and when you solve it, you're actually given like a little code. So say like it is like a physical location you go to, like the thing that you're given is like a code that you put in to get the next hint, and the next hint then is online as well versus like in person. We could go either way.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, I don't know if it can be physical, because it might just be easier if it was digital, because maybe it's something where at the location you have to scan something, or like there's something that you input and then all of the things that you have to solve, all the puzzles are digital, so you have like access to them. I just feel like, is there anything that would be weird with having a physical oh my god, I'm blanking on the word, like a physical puzzle, because someone could just remove it. Like, how do we keep someone from just like taking the like one thing that we put there?
Right, that's a good point. But yeah, like the first person that finds it removes it somehow.
They'll like take the whole thing.
It'll have to be something that we can kind of create that's like permanent in some form.
Yeah. Oh, it could be like, I don't know how this would work, but you know how like in the Pokemon Go thing, like a lot of businesses were able to set up these like geotag things.
Yeah.
That were digital.
We could actually do that. We could just have it based on like if you like check in or whatnot, if you're in the location. We're doing it. I think that there's so many like ways that we could actually create a much better system in the future. I'm just trying to think of like, for this MVP first fun game, like what's the simplest way, even tech wise, what's the simplest thing we can throw out in like a month that still is worth it, it's still fun and still functions. I feel like we could do the location. It could just be based on like coordinates. So you solve something, and you know what the you figure out what the coordinates are, and you like input that, and that's like you got it. But we do want to make sure that people are actually going and actually like traveling to these spots too. Like you shouldn't be able to just do this whole thing from home and then go to the final location.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we should actually try this. Like, let's go a little bit deeper with it versus like making it too simple. So we do want to grab password because you're going to make an account.
Okay.
So we'll email, name, password. I think that's all we need to collect really to start anyway. So then, then we're going to go with, so you sign up, then you have like a dashboard. And we need a login as well, so I'm just going to copy and paste this again. Login, and that's going to be form with email and password will be for your login. Okay. And then, so once you create your account, you log in, we'll have a dashboard page. On the dashboard page, we can keep it as simple as having just like one main page right now that just has like clues. And so clues, right? Like 1 through what, like whatever. What do we want to? We have to think of like the final location, and then we have to like build out what the clues are in order to really know. But let's just say like 1 through 5 for the sake of just like mocking something up tonight. 1 through 5. Clue 1 is visible, and the other are like they're grayed out or whatever.
Yeah. Right. So then you know how many to expect.
Yeah. So you have like some sort of indication of like what you're doing. And then what we're saying is like some sort of geotag. Like I'm gonna have to like research and see like what that's gonna entail. But especially because it's I'm trying to think of like if you can get that from. I'm pretty positive you can get that from like your phone on a website if you enable it. You know, the same way that like you can go to like through your phone's native browser to like Google Maps, and you don't have to use the app. So I'm pretty sure I can figure that out. Just in the future, I would imagine this would be like a React Native app, even versus just like a website. But we can make it mobile friendly website to start with. So we'll have to think of like how that input works and what's secure too, because the goal would be that it's like you have to physically go there. Geotag locations, let's say you have to physically find location. So you have to physically be in the area. And then maybe there is some sort of visual cue that gives you like something you also have to enter in. Because my only thought is like with like geotag, like with the location kind of tagging thing, I know when you go, sometimes it doesn't like get it accurately. So I feel like there should be something like you have to figure out visually as well.
Yeah. And I was also thinking like maybe some of these locations would be kind of remote, and then what if internet isn't working?
Yeah, well, we'd have to make sure as we're going that we have it on every type of phone signal. So we might need to like go with a few different phones, like borrow friends' phones. Like I have Verizon. What do you have?
I think I have the same. I have Verizon.
So we'll have to grab some of these like AT&T and T-Mobile and whatever, like the rest of them, or we'll have to test. I think there's ways of testing to see like what's available in the areas. So we won't go too crazy with that. Even like for this first one, for sure there are ways to solve like all of this like on a bigger picture, but we'll just have to kind of create like the first kind of simpler, still really fun, but like maybe not out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, because if we're trying to do geotagging locations, we'll have to figure it out. But it could be something as simple as like you give these hints, then they go to like a street corner and they have to type in the names of the two street corners and have the geotag be in that area. So we know they physically went and they typed in the two names, right? So things like that, or like a name of a restaurant that you're looking at, like with like, here's a bunch of tips, like clues that like bring you to this location and spot. What's the restaurant name that's across the street, right?
Right. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, you have you have to physically find the location and enter some sort of space clue or answer. So on the dashboard, I think it's just clues and like a log out button. Log out, pop that back. There's the little indent thing.
And this will be an app, right?
Yeah, I think to start though, we'll make it. How do I just? I want this to be at the same level that clues is. I think to start though, we'll just make this like a website that's mobile friendly. Just because. There we go. Just because I think that's going to be easier for me to accomplish in a month with the timeline that I'm on. And we'll kind of want it to be a website as well, like the bigger picture thing that has like an app that goes with it. So you'd be like signing up and getting the app. And depending, we might be able to get away with making it just a progressive web app. So we don't actually ever need to have a mobile, like a native app. I think we might be able to get away with doing that. And that would mean that we're not like going through Apple or, through Google to push it out. So it's got a bunch of benefits that I think we could do. And so we want to actually on sign up, we're going to want you to submit payment and information as well.
Yeah.
So that's like Stripe payment. I wonder if it's like we can do it all in one, where it's just like you're signing up and you're also submitting payment. And even though the signing up process is going to go to like our database and we'll just put all the payment through Stripe, we can maybe include those together. We'll have to kind of play out like the best way to do that. But yeah, when you sign up, you pay whatever the pot amount is. If it's like $5 or $10 to play or whatever, you'll pay at that time. And so then on the dashboard page, you'll just have your clues, log out. You're going to want to have settings as well, which would have like update your email address, password. We can get into that, all the details of what the settings should have as we're going, but it's also sort of like, how do we want to pay the winner?
Yeah.
Maybe just via PayPal to start with or something like that. Okay, cool. So I think as a starting point, this would be like a good place. We can start sketching up some of these. Let's start by doing, just make like a little web browser for us to work out of. There's a little X in the corner. So we want to say something like draws you in visually with a quick link to sign up. And so let's throw like at the top, there's some sort of marketing copy content. Real live treasure hunt. Obviously, this will change.
Yeah.
Copy wise.
TBD.
But yeah, let's. First, this was like my lorem ipsum generator. I'm just writing over and over lorem ipsum. This should have like a little lore mixing generator built into it. That would be cool. So yeah, basically this, some sort of text. Just do one. And a button, right? We want a sign up button. I think, after we'll take these wireframes and like turn them into more like complete comps, and then that's where we'll like design out everything we're thinking. But just to have them here.
Yeah.
Start. Find treasure now. Start now.
Find it now.
Find it now. Oh, I know what else we want on this page actually. We want like the actual money that's like, so let's say it's like up to,
oh yeah, the count.
Yeah, like it's up to $5,000. Like, let's make that large. So it's like something like that, right? Like whatever amount it is. Logo. We want to have any additional pages? Probably not right now. Like an about page. Everything can kind of just be on that one like landing page, right?
Yeah, we can explain everything on this first page.
So this will be a link. So yeah, something like this, some sort of visual element with this kind of copying content in the first part of the site, and then we'd want to go down to like an explanation of the game. And so that's kind of what we can think through, like what are the things that, like, are there like 3 key things we want to like hint at, like this is what it is, or like how would we explain what the game is?
Like visually?
Yeah, or just like what are the elements? Is it like there's 4 steps to explaining it, like it's this, 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 and this, just to sort of like lay out the section.
So it'd be like what? Like sign up, receive the first clue, which will lead you to a real life location, which will lead you to your third destination. I guess we could say like each destination will take you closer and closer to the location of the final jackpot. And then you have to be the first person who, I guess, like, how do you want to confirm the win? Like, do they submit something?
I think the little USB thing, we like hide the final thing physically.
So it's a physical thing that they get.
Yeah. Be the first person to find the USB, like USB drive, with winning instructions on it, right?
Yeah.
So, which is kind of terrible if we make it a USB, because then it's like you have to like, cool, I got it. Now we need to get back to like a computer.
Oh, I know.
It's like I won, yay! And then like I need to get this thing back safely.
It doesn't have to be a USB, because if only one person wins, then you could have a code. It could be a code, and whoever inputs that code in to like the site, they win.
Yeah. So the only thing is like being cautious around like the security of the code. Like if it's like a physical thing, it changes the nature of it. But Actually, we can get away with doing like a secure, like the first person to enter this code in wins.
You was just like people could just try to crack it.
Yeah, but I can use like I can salt and hash it, so it can be like as secure as like the password.
Yeah.
It's sort of just a matter of like what's like the smartest and simplest way to do it now. And then I still think there should be something physical that you find, that maybe that gives you that code so that it's more interesting. Like you like find the final location and you like have to physically find something. It's not just about like a last clue or something.
Yeah, I think it would just suck to have to like take that clue back home.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. So when we're actually like writing out all of these steps, like we'll figure out what it really looks like. But for the sake of just wireframing right now, we'll just say like be the first person to find the treasure, the physical treasure.
Yeah.
Or the I don't say physical treasure. I'll just say find the treasure. You can actually make that clear when you're designing and building it. I'm just gonna lay it out like this for now. We can make it more interesting, but like my arrows. Let's make this one. Okay. Be the first person to find the treasure.
You did.
Let's see. It's crazy, my crazy box outline things.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we'll just do this. It's highlighted now. Cool. And then we'll want to do like a little bit more of like a formal sign up, start the sign up now. We could do it all on one page instead of having like a separate sign up page. It can be like the form is just at the bottom, and if you click the top button, it brings you straight down.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I like having it all on one page.
Yeah. Especially because that top $5,000 could then like increment up when you like sign up, and you can be like, oh, cool! I just, like saw my own money into the jackpot. So sign up now. Let's put the now. So we want to do a form of some sort. What did we say we wanted in the form? Email, password. So there can be details above. So it's like join the hunt now. Grab this one. And then this one will be uh, like that. That's your policy. Obviously, let's copy it. So whatever details we want to throw up there. And then we'll say, no, I guess. Email address, password. And then Stripe payment information. I forget how, I mean, we can either build it directly in or we can use like Stripe's payment thing, which is like a separate, that would be like the fastest way to do it. It would look better if we built it like into the form, but I'll kind of play around with that when we actually get to that stage. So I'm just going to say Stripe payment info, and I'm just going to make that like it's a box. So move all of these down. What's your name? Doesn't need to be that big. Your email, your password. Okay. And then there we go. And then the Stripe payment information can just be like a box for now. A little bit larger in this one. Because I'll have to look into what that actually is. But for now, that works. Cool. And then we'll have a button at the bottom. Actually, let's just grab this one. Oops, up here. And then we need a footer type information, which would be our privacy link, our service link, and a don't sue us, please sentence. You know, the huge.
Yeah, the don't sue us link.
Don't sue us link, what that looks like. Something like that. Put those in the center and put this over here. We can figure out, you know, what we actually want down there in that, in that section. Okay, so this looks like a pretty decent. Let's just grab the. I'll say this is landing page. Okay, so that's our landing page.
Oh.
You can kind of think through what, you know, like what visually this would all look like. And that'll be fun, but for now, there's our landing page. Down here, please. And then next would be once you've signed up and you are in, I'm going to say the dashboard. Actually, let's do the login real quick. Right? And that's just going to be as simple as grab these, grab all of this, and then you can take out what we don't need. It's weird, it's like not showing up. Okay. I'm back in. Back. Alright, and then we don't need what's your name. We do need email address and password. And then that would be good enough for a login. Oh, as it disappears. Down. Cool. Let's copy over. And then we'll just go ahead and put this up. All right. And back. Some kind of back button. Actually, if we just have the logo, it'll be good. All right. There we go. We got login. Okay, so let's go back to this size. So we've got sign up, we've got login. The next page that we're going to want to add is going to be the dashboard. Okay. On dashboard, let's see. We want to have clues going downwards, 1 through 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say log out up in that top corner. And then I'll zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, so we could kind of create, maybe we want to keep like the pot, like this kind of information at the top.
Yeah.
Like it'd be different, right? Like the form of it would be different, but like something where you're like able to see like what it,
Yeah.
what it's up to. Something like that, and then you would have like, we'll have to like really think through like the design of it, because there's a lot of really fun things we can do. Like I know we were talking last video about just like the style of like it almost feeling like a secret like Illuminati style like organization.
Yeah.
So we could make this feel really like I don't know, like a fun treasure hunt. As long as we don't make it cheesy. I think there's like that fine line. I don't know, what do you think for this? Like would it be like, I mean, we could have it at least for now like as simple as like here's your first clue. These are the input fields.
I like the idea of the one clue being like the clear one, and then having the ones below be like for either grayed out or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can kind of anticipate how many clues that you need to find.
Right.
It's kind of exciting. And this could even be like, instead of clues, it could be like medallions or something. Like maybe it's like a thing that you collect or whatever,
Oh,
you
yeah.
to them or something.
I love that. I love that idea. And that could be really visual. You're like getting each one and they're like lighting up or glowing in some sort of interesting way. So this is, oh wait, let's change the color back. I'm gonna keep it all the same. Okay, cool. So, sit on it. Okay, cool. So we'll put the copy, something like there that like actually gives you an indication of what it is. And then you'll have some sort of input fields. I wonder if we want to do like, it's sort of like whatever the clue is, like whatever you actually have to input needs to be something that's consistent, that people are writing it the exact same way.
Uh-huh.
Because if it's like, because we want it to immediately give them the next clue without having to be like unlocked or something. So we'll have to kind of play through that in more detail. And I think that's like a much deeper conversation that we'll do off of the recording, just so that we can like really dive into it. But for now, I'll just put like a field, like a, box here with the intention of saying like that this will be, uh, an input for answer, whatever format we end up deciding to like give the clues and the answers need to come in. And then I think what we want to do, something like, all right, let's see, put this down at the bottom. Okay, let's just center this. So then we can take this and go kind of do the same thing. And then we'll say like second clue, second clue. Okay. And this will be gone, and then we can like basically have this all like grayed out in some format. And like you said, like if we did like medallions or some like little like things, and it'd be like you wouldn't know what it looks like, and then maybe when you get it, it's like visually pops in. So some sort of like grayed out section. I'm actually just gonna draw it all like this, so that it's like, like this, where you can't see anything, and we will understand that what that means essentially is that we're trying to just create a sort of grayed out thing. And so we'll do that for however many clues we have.
Yeah.
Let's just say 3, and then there's 4 for the final treasure. Like this. And so let's just do, just for the sake of like visually throwing something up here, we'll just have like these little dots right in the center, and that's going to be some representation of like the final thing. And then I mean, that could be it for this page, like as the MVP. Obviously, like there's so much more that would happen when we actually get to like a more full version of this. But I think that is like sufficient for the sort of first version. And yeah, over here you'd have like the settings page too, which we won't wireframe for the sake of not going that much longer at this point on the video. But settings, okay. These links will just be up in the corner. Oops. Yeah. So something along the lines of that, and visually we'll play around with this a ton. And in order to really finalize these, we would need to go into more detail about what the product, like what it really is going to be. Because I think this MVP is really just going to be like our first version. There's one treasure hunt. It's one thing that you're participating in, and then if it works and we like get people involved and it's really fun, then it can grow from there into like a much larger, like it could be happening all over the world. It could be anything. But for the sake of just doing this as our monthly project where I can see the future, like I think this is a really good initial direction.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's it. Did you want to add anything else to this? Do you think we covered everything?
It's a really good structure that you laid out. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously things are going to change a lot, but I think this is a really good start.
Yeah, we'll be able to fine tune these when we get into deeper and longer conversations about what the actual experience will be for finding clues, because maybe it isn't just an input field where you're typing in like some answer that gives you the next clue. we really have to see like what the ideal situation will be for that. So, but yeah, I think we're at a good stopping point for today's video, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya!
And then I have to stop the video. Bye.